Go ahead. Yep.
It's recording now, right?
It's this time it is. Look, we only sacrificed 2 minutes. You've been in podcasts where you lost whole ones before, so look, just
no. This is very positive learning. Because for once it's not me being incompetent on podcasts. It's you.
Well, trust me, it's not my first time. So just do your goddamn thing again.
So this is the next episode of Tru-Cast, which is being rebranded as Thirstmoil. Cast 1.0. I'm joined here with Jake, who is doing all the recording because I cannot be trusted with it. Neither can he, apparently. I'm also joined by Kramer.
I've been doing a great job.
Up. I'm not done yet.
Doing a great job.
I'm also joined by Kramer to give us legitimacy in this endeavor, which is bound to fail. And we are also joined by Jamie, who is not available at the moment. He is off searching for alcohol. So say hello, guys, and then we'll talk about why we're here, I guess.
You can go first, Jake.
Hi, everybody.
Hello.
Yeah, I'm here too. Yep, that's right. I'm everywhere. You're gonna get sick of me very quickly.
Mm-hmm. You've been here on Turmoil for 3 weeks, and we're already inviting you. What the fuck is going on?
What is that noise? I mean, I honestly thank you,
Jamie.
I feel like you guys.
It wasn't my fault.
I feel like you guys can hear me eat my pizza.
We lack all the professional qualities that anybody else could probably muster in the entirety of OCW. We are here for a very specific reason. We're not going to review a show. We're not going to review the RPs or the matches or anything, because those get talked about enough. I want to talk about the characters themselves and kind of some of the general random stupidity that's going on around with OCW. Nothing bad, I say. But characters kind of get overlooked. I want to talk about how they're developing, what we think of them, where they're going, and the storyline is that they're involved in or not involved in. So that's really the reason we're here. I know Kramer has one or two things he wants to talk about, including his failed attempt to recruit people into OCW.
Thanks.
Yeah, RedditGate, my favorite thing ever.
Yeah, so we should actually start with that. Kramer, I'm just going to give you the chance to defend yourself. So go ahead. That was miserable, but go ahead.
Okay, so first off, I'm not leaving or anything, so don't get too happy about that for the people who want me to go on, which I don't think many do. But all I was trying to do, pretty much advertise, which I'm not good at. Trying to be, but right there proved the fact that I am not good at advertising. Sorry, I'm eating my pizza. But still, I'm not good at it, and I love this place. There's no reason why I'd leave, and plus I'm way too busy to do anything else. So yeah.
So, but what was the attempt? Because you see,
just to bring just to bring people here. Honestly,
I get that.
Just a total deflect from Kramer there. That was excellent work.
But we're not going to ignore that. We get that. But did you forget to sign into another account?
No, all my other accounts are banned. And there's no reason to get on. I honestly don't get on Reddit at all. So I was just going to put that in there. Then Gooch the other day sent me a message saying, what is this? What is this? And I'm like, I'm just trying to get people here. He's like,
So you signed
so
in.
It's funny because Gooch
slap you.
Wait, what?
I'm going to fucking slap you. Put your fucking pizza down.
I'm not. I haven't done anything yet.
Jake, I will fucking slap you.
I think that was Jamie. No. Hey, I already did my fuck up of the day. The roulette has gone to Jamie in this case.
Oh my god.
So yeah, that's not me.
Listen, fight through it. We're not professional, but we're doing it.
So
Kramer,
what was I doing?
You've got to have more for us than it was a brain fart. I want you to walk me through RedditGate from start to finish.
I made a post. I don't remember what the post was. I got pulled on.
Hey, you guys get recommendations for eFeds?
Oh, okay, yeah, it was that. Any recommendations? And I was just gonna add in there, like, yeah, OCW. If you want to look at a place, go to that. But there's nothing. I had no idea that it was smart to actually do a different account and do that. Yes, I agree with you guys saying that, but I didn't do it because I'm not that fully with it.
But
I don't even know you were trying to do.
The question was framed.
You made the question.
The question was framed in a way like I've been looking around.
No,
I've
there's
seen
no
this
way.
EFED thing. Yes, that is how it was framed. It was.
That's how I said that. Yes. So people be like, oh yeah, here, and I've been like, come to OCW instead.
Nobody responded to you. You
Yeah.
responded to yourself.
Yeah, that's
You had the first comment. The only reason anybody else said anything is because you commented on your own thread.
yeah.
You made us look desperate, man. You made us look desperate.
Honestly, are we desperate though? No.
But I appreciate the love.
Hey,
I do. Good to have you.
thank you. I'm here. I'm here every single showing up on every Friday.
Which is more than some people can say. Am I right, Jake?
That's right, and we'll get into it.
Well, let me tell you something, Damian Bourne.
Hey, I can't.
Thank you for letting me clear the air and let me speak on my behalf. Because
you should probably speak us on your behalf, actually.
That's true.
Yeah.
So,
You need to hire a PR person is what you need to do.
No, you're not wrong about that.
but anyways, here we are.
Hey, Jamie's
We're presented with. Are you eating chips? Because my God, if you are, I'm gonna be so fucking pissed.
Well, let me tell you something, Adam. You gotta snap into a crisp, kid.
I fucking hate this already.
Let me tell you something, man. Let's we go. Chips over here.
You a gambling man? I know you live in Vegas, but I don't know that you would have put a lot of money down on this going off the rails 6 minutes and 36 seconds in.
No, I defaulted. I said I'm not recording, and I figured that would save me, but it has not.
You would have cut this shit off already if you were recording.
Just know
But now I'm in control.
First off, hold on. Before we get anything, I thought it was funny how last night on the stream, Jay was like, he said we were talent or performers. He doesn't even like that
He
word.
didn't say that. He doesn't say that because he doesn't like when people say that. So you should say it more.
But he said it last night on his stream. Like, oh, he's a talent or something like that.
No, he said that 13 years ago on the Patreon podcast, and I pointed it out. So and then I made him look like he was contradicting himself because I just love fucking with.
But are we
It's one of my
talent or
favorite
performers?
pastimes.
Are we
No.
just
Yes, absolutely.
weirdos?
Weirdo.
No.
Probably
No.
weirdos, yeah.
I'm fine with being a weirdo.
Oh, so we get. Well, can't they be synonyms in this case?
No,
No. There isn't even
right.
going to be metaphors.
this is digital
Fair
Barbie,
enough.
100%.
Digital Barbie.
I love it.
Wait, what?
It makes sense.
I
agree.
Here, let me quantify how I view OCW. It's obviously less than a job, but you have to put a lot of work into it. Like, you have to collaborate and write with people. All right. So it's more of a hobby, right? But then at the same time, it kind of extends a little bit further than a hobby, because even when you're not enjoying it, like, you still have to do it for the benefit of other people. So you're sharing with people, you're working with people, you're video work and writing stuff together, and then you're doing competitive matches. So it kind of falls into this weird little category of its own. But I love that category because I do put a lot of work into it, probably a lot more work than anything else outside of my relationship, my job, and then family and stuff like that. But then at the same time,
what you're saying is you don't really put that much more into it than anything else.
dude, I mean that's kind of cynical, but thank you. But at the same time, this has replaced my viewing of wrestling. So I'm actively contributing to watching wrestling, and that's a form of entertainment for me. So it's
good time. Now you tell me who's Kevin Sullivan.
That's Kevin Owens. Yes? Right?
He's got him. Hook, line, and sinker. He fucking got you, Jamie.
You got me, man.
Go ahead. Give me another one. I got this. I can do this.
Tried to stump him.
Go.
Oh, you got another one?
I can't tell if he's. I
I'm
can't tell if
interested.
he's trolling me or trying to be cool.
No. Shut everything down. I want this game to continue. Jamie, give him another name.
Okay.
Or Google him.
Who's Flying Brian?
Oh, I can't hear you over the crackling of your fucking bag.
Let me fucking eat. Who's Flying Brian?
Flam Brian?
Flying Brian.
Flying Brian?
Oh, I know this one.
Damn, Scott. Yeah, this is easy. I don't even watch wrestling.
I mean,
Ever.
You probably think of someone else.
Is it Daniel Bryan?
No. Brian Pillman.
No. Flying Brian Pillman.
No, got nothing there.
Okay, here's another one. Who's the King of Hearts, also known as the Black Heart?
The King of Hearts, the Black Owen Hart.
There you go.
There you go. Yeah.
Yeah, 2 for 3.
This guy. How do you got the modern one, but the two like softballs he pitched.
Kevin Sullivan's a legit wrestling name. It's not Kevin Owens.
Give me 2 more, and we're gonna see what out of 5 what I can do here. Dramatic pause.
Oh man, the tension.
Is Jamie okay?
I think is he good? Did he
Choke on a
did
chip?
he fall in his bag of crisps?
I muted my mic.
Are we good?
So okay, who is Oz from WCW?
That's easy.
That was Kevin Nash.
Oh wow! But what was the connection?
Wow!
What made you get it?
Let's say that again.
Was it the Emerald City Sidewalk Slam?
I thought we were just doing names.
Oh my god. Okay, so who is Bubba? Who is Bubba Rogers?
Bubba Rogers. Bubba Rogers. Is that Nature Boy guy before Ric Flair, like Buddy Rogers?
No.
No.
That was going to be my next question. Who was the original Nature Boy?
No, I know random stuff. Okay,
no.
let's stop with this because this is absolutely foolish and in no point does it prove anything. I watch OCW for my former wrestling.
Welcome to ThirstCast.
Welcome to Saturday Night Live.
Random bullshit. All right, you know what? Here's what I did. I pulled up all the characters on downloads, and I'm literally gonna go right down the list by their downloads, and I want to talk about if they have any ongoing stories and what you think about the characters as a whole. Simple as that. Good to go.
Easy peasy.
Easy peasy. You know what? Out of curiosity, Jamie, here's a question for you. Do you know who the most downloaded call on PS4 is?
Valkyrie.
Do you know who the second most downloaded call on PS4 is? No, Valkyrie. So
Yeah, you got 2 of them.
Someone with tits.
That's right.
no, Valkyrie is the
Right, can we
top 2
work out when
download.
we're actually going to start?
Oh, we already started.
Oh, I thought we were...
Wait, so we're going off that. I have the freaking roster pulled up on the website.
There's
Grab my
people
PlayStation
missing.
controller.
Yeah,
So,
well,
thank you for coming
we can go
prepared.
past, like, right? Yeah.
Yeah,
Bring
thank
a
you.
pencil.
Right, so can we do an intro then start properly?
We already did the
Yeah.
intro. You were gone for the intro.
Exactly.
Jamie,
on for the intro,
Jamie,
therefore the intro happened.
We're 13 minutes into this podcast.
And talked about nothing.
We talked about who are the old wrestlers' names that are different that you know.
What do you think? You think we're here just fucking around? I wouldn't show up for this garbage.
I thought we were just fucking around. Okay, let's go for it. Adam, take it away.
All right, so Valkyrie is probably the most beloved person in OCW. If I run through it really quick, I love the character development. However, I'm not really certain how I feel about her current ongoing storyline because I'm not really sure where it's leading to. Blaine's involved in it a lot, so she's been talking to me in terms of where we're going with it, and I'm kind of curious as to why it's such a departure from this fresh babyface persona that she's been using a majority of her time in OCW. So that's where I am with Valkyrie. I'm kind of uncertain if I like the direction it's going. Kramer?
Sorry, I was not. Let's go to someone else. I'm trying to get stuff situated.
Unbelievable. You do this for a living. God. Anyway,
It's great,
It's different going from a laptop, and I pull up my actual PlayStation.
I'll take it. Shut up, Kramer. I'll take it. Look, so the way, and I mentioned this in the Super Turmoil review when I saw, to like mirror what you were saying, she was displaying very non-Valkyrie-ish tendencies, compared to a lot of the things that we saw last season and this season. I still think she's at the very tip top of the board in terms of likability and everything. I don't think it's been long enough for her to tip that scale. But we'll get to Ashley later, but it seemed like it was doing a shift where, we're supposed to feel bad about Ashley, and then, she's just like, I'm just trying to get by, and now Valkyrie is like pissy with her. But you're right, I am interested to see where it goes. The ending of the current storyline is going to do a lot more for my opinion of her than than the information I have to go off of right now. But in general, I still think she's at the tip top of the baby faces that we have in OCW. I don't think it's as extreme downfall.
I think it might just be that she wants to try something different. I mean, we saw earlier on when she was trying to do something a little bit different. Was it like towards the end of last season, where she was trying to join Casanity, but then she left, stuff like that. And maybe she might want to turn heel almost at some point to try something different. I know your mind can go something different the next day to the other, so it just depends. And honestly, if she tries to go to a different route, I applaud her, as it can drive more fun to her character, try to have something else to look forward to, because I know that's what I'm trying to do right now with Jacqueline, but who knows still.
Well, before I'm sorry to interrupt what Jamie was going to say, if he was going to say anything, but in wrestling, you can't continue to have the same stale character over and over. You can say that when you talk about the legend, like Stone Cold's always been the same. He hasn't. The Rock's always been the same. No. But you remember them at their peak, but you can't continue to do the same thing over and over and over. I don't know if anybody will know what I'm referencing, but Edge actually cut like a work shoot on X-Pac once in WWF towards the end of X-Pac's run, where he said that the crowd was chanting 1, 2, 3 to make fun of him, and he said, he evolved his character from the goth to the fun-loving guy to the rated R superstar, and X-Pac continued to stay the same, which made him suck. So Valkyrie, I think what you're saying, in my mind, Kramer, was the correct thing. She tried to do something that shifted things and make things interesting towards the end, but kind of realized as it was happening that it wasn't the right time. And she did a phenomenal job of shifting, like, oh, they brainwashed me, and it worked because she's a very good writer. So in that
because her character's not stale either. It's not even close to the point where it's time for that.
I agree with you. I don't think it's time to shift at all. And
yeah, like she's done a very kind of long job of having these kind of bratty, annoyed elements to her character, which gives it a whole idea of realism, because she's been this character that's been good, she's been friendly with everybody, she's worked hard, and then she's overlooked for this, that, and the next thing. So the character is going to be annoyed to an extent, but I feel sometimes she's kind of overdone it. But in her most recent feud, where she has literally been the babyface in peril, it's kind of wiped that off. But then now, as she's kind of became more in the ascendance of the feud, it's coming back. It's like, I've overcame all of this, so why can't I be bigger? And then it goes back to, but I'm still this not purest babyface character, but that she has a face. She's like a realistic face. She wants something for what she's putting in, if that makes sense.
That's what makes the character interesting, like at the current crossroads that Valkyrie's at, and the genius of how great of a writer she is that she's kind of had these subtle hints in these moments where the cameras are on, where she's in character, and then where she does RPs where maybe the cameras aren't really on. In OCW, we're real fluid like that. We can kind of shift in and out. So there's these moments where she, like in the apartment, like when you think about it, we're viewing this from like a TV show perspective, where not a wrestling show perspective, like a Netflix show where the cameras are not there, that she's just being Valkyrie. And in those moments where she's just being Valkyrie, when she's talking on the cell phone or talking to Ashley, or kind of slips up in the actual TVRP, she shows that human element, like Jamie was saying. So it kind of it adds a different element. Like her as a person, she wants to be shown as this heroic fairy tale person, but she actually is a human. She has desires outside of just doing what everybody wants her to do, and she has like reservations about what she wants Ashley to do in her apartment. She's a real person, so adding that element to it keeps her from being stale as a babyface, and she can continue to be nuanced as a babyface without making a complete turn. All right. I guess it's just me. Welcome to ThirstCast. We're doing a 180. We're going to riot. Fuck these bitches. No, I'm just kidding. Somebody else said something.
Sorry. I was getting food because you took over and I was ready to move on to Drago Caesar, and then you started on that rant.
I'm sorry.
And yeah, that's okay. Okay, but anyways, yeah, that's the next person. Drago Caesar is in my mind
a horrible person that's only here to further his legacy. He doesn't care about anyone else. That's why the open challenge is in fact a closed challenge.
Oh,
it's closed now.
Conspiracy, huh? You think he's handpicking opponents?
Nah, I'm talking
okay.
shit.
Well, Jamie goes on and the bashing. I'm gonna go get food, so you guys have fun. Take over. I'll be right back.
Especially no one is bashing.
This is a total shit show. Let's keep going with this. But while he's gone, let's make a total mockery of this. Drago Caesar's the piece of shit. All right? No, I'm kidding. Drago is universally. Well, I'll try not to rant as long. Drago is universally loved by everybody in the same way that Valkyrie is. But rather than pressing on the "I'm great, I'm a fairy tale," Drago has the kind of the quirk of being like, I'm just here to have fun. I'm just here, to wrestle and entertain. And then he goes out there and he kills everybody. So it's fun in that sense that he's not acknowledging his greatness. He's the most humble superstar in OCW and probably in wrestling that I've seen.
I have yet to DM him, and I really, really want to see how he is the sticks. Because I know the way of watching his matches, I know he's good. I mean, I play. I know I've finally fought Austin Aries. Not Austin. Why did I say Austin Aries? Austin Lee.
Gotcha.
Austin Lee the other day. But yeah, I just like the character of Drago as our Drago. His writing work is good. I don't know. There's nothing else you can say much about him except that he's a huge baby face, and I mean it works for him. Everybody likes him. I like him. Yeah.
My name is Drago, and I love to fight.
Pretty much.
Yeah. Any thoughts on nuances or writing or anything, Jamie? Or do you just not like Drago?
I love Drago. What the fuck?
Yeah, but I liked it better at the beginning of the segment when you were trashing him.
You just encouraged me to fake
Absolutely. Yeah, go ahead.
No, I like Drago. He's fun to talk to both in character and out of character. Obviously, I worked a lot with him as Dragana with Aerith. I hopefully have some stuff coming up with Drago shortly. That again should be fun. He's always someone that I've been able to play on the sticks without being like, oh shit, this guy's gonna kill me, or he's
gonna kick my ass,
or it's like, shit, I can't play properly in case it looks like I've killed him. He's always someone that I can just pick up a controller and play.
He's surprisingly fun to play. Like, I know we're supposed to be talking about the actual characters and everything, but the way Drago is simultaneously the best in the company on the sticks and also not a fucking nightmare to play, it's incredible. I was expecting complete domination, complete shutdown on my end during our feud, and it just wasn't like that. Both matches that we had were awesome. So Adam's not back yet. We're going to move on to Alex Asher. This might be a shorter segment, but
how does he
26 downloads.
Yes, Alex Asher is absolutely irrelevant, hasn't done anything, and I don't care to talk about him. So I do vote that we move on.
Welcome to ThirstCast.
Well, let me tell you something, brother.
He's probably won't even listen to this one either.
No.
He doesn't watch the shows.
Jack Mo, what do you think, Adam?
Flake.
Wait, Jack
He's
Mo
fucking gone.
Look,
what do I care?
I'm just establishing the rules.
Ashley
We don't
Moore?
talk about flakes. Let's go to Ashley Moore.
I'm very happy with how the women's division is progressing, and I think Ashley has been involved, not directly and not in a major way with a lot of storylines, but she's present.
I completely disagree with that.
Go ahead.
She has by far much more stepped up as opposed to the last couple of seasons. I feel like she's maybe realized why she's not kind of a focal point. I feel like she's literally just as strong a character as Valkyrie for completely opposite reasons. Whereas Valkyrie's this self-assured,
Richie Rich diva, yeah.
good girl. Ashley Moore is this, preppy chick that wants to be acknowledged, that wants to be told how good she is, and that's a major core part of her character. Whereas in previous seasons, Ashley Moore was the chick that wore a fucking Baywatch suit and high heels while wrestling and stole her face from some random creator guy.
Yeah, but that was exactly what I was going to go and say. She has improved. I'm very happy with that. I'm just saying she's acting as kind of a foil to a lot of the major characters right now, and that's a major step up. So everything's progressing well in terms of that, and I can't disagree with what you've said. It's a big improvement.
Recently, that picture of her laying on top of Valkyrie, that was golden. I for some reason I like this. If this is gonna continue even more, I'm gonna enjoy this. I enjoy anything that deals, because her writing's also stepped up. Because from what I've seen, I really didn't see much of her stuff. I don't know if it's because when I've been reading through, from last season, but coming already to this season, there's been a lot more stuff that it stood out to me the most, and it's more of a step in the right
she's
direction.
Not a primary English speaker, the handler, by the way. So I always try to tip my cap whenever the bilingual people are able to put on good content that's readable and isn't total gibberish. But just to quickly, I agree with Jamie in that the character at its core has the ability to be better or the same as Valkyrie, because it's as classic as a bratty diva gimmick and she pulls it off in a very real way. And if one thing to people that are rookies, and Ashley I think just got promoted, but one thing to people that are rookies that are looking to get pushed up the card or to be recognized is just be reliable. You don't even have to go to all these different lengths and make these crazy fucking RP videos and all this. Just be reliable and work with people who are also reliable, and automatically your shit is going to be better. Your collaborative RPs are going to be better. Don't reach out to somebody on Discord and then just disappear for days at a time. Just be reliable. Do what Ashley does. Be reliable and be involved in shows as they go along, and you'll be as recognized as she is, and she's done a great job this season.
Judge Raven's up next. It looked like he was going to break out at the beginning of the year. He had some really big wins. He had a lot of momentum, and then nothing happened. But he's going to be upcoming on Paul Pugh's Ambition show, yes. But Judge Raven has nobody but himself to look at and say, why don't I have X, Y, and Z?
He had some real life stuff happen recently.
Okay, so that's more important. So he, hopefully things come together for him in the future. That's about all I can really say to him. I like the character, and I enjoyed working with him at the beginning of the year. So that's what I got. I push on to you guys. Defer to you. What do you have?
I like his look. Even also in the ring. I mean, because I had one match with him, and it was that match was good to me. Going up against him, because I know his stick ability on Turmoil is really good, and I also went online, but it honestly complements the way that he looks as a character as well. He also came to me a few times to have look at his call, the way that he created it and stuff, his new attire and stuff. So yeah, he enjoys it doing what he does, but I wish he could also put up some more stuff.
From text more than people know. Last season, when I was just first joining and reading shows, he was nowhere to be found, and I just assumed he was a flake and whatever. One thing that's different about him and some other people that don't do anything is he doesn't make excuses about himself, which I can at least respect. I don't know what's going on in his real life. I'm not going to comment on that because I don't know him that well. But the character's look is awesome. Like, aesthetically, he looks like a star, but there's no character to comment on because he's not a character. He hasn't done anything. He is one of the only people who hasn't done an RP all season long. And whether that's RL stuff or not, that's not my room to comment. But I just wanted to shout him out for being just a good handler at least. And hopefully when he's able to come back, he can put out some quality content. Chris? Yeah.
Is Jamie still available, or are we moving on?
I'm still here. I was just letting you guys finish.
You haven't passed out yet?
Nope, not yet. So, if you looked up potential in a dictionary, you see Jet Draven.
No.
That's so cliche. I love it.
If you then looked up disappointment, you would also see Jet Draven.
Wow. Okay, that was the most cliche line I've ever heard.
How long have you been OCW for, Adam? Jesus. He will be so much more once everything is kind of settled in his personal life and he gets going. He will be something. There's no other way to put it. He will be a star. That's it.
Beautiful sentiment. Really short, to the point. Thank you. We have Carissa, who's an alt of Austin Lee. Hasn't done anything this year.
Whore.
We go to Elsa, who is Rudo's alt.
But also a whore.
Also a whore. Jeez, how do you know
your
this?
dick, brother.
To be honest, I can't really comment. She's there. She's in the women's division. She had a few matches at the beginning of the year, which were both, good and acceptable within, the realm of what we're looking for. But the character itself hasn't stood out as much because of,
I believe, her
other characters standing out.
Was,
What's that?
I believe in-ring debut was the Battle Royal at Rumble Grounds.
Yeah, pretty sure. Was Elsa the? I'm guessing she's the one that Jest was helping at the Performance Center, correct?
Yeah.
Okay, I was making sure.
Hoping to bang her.
And for that build up to now, that's what I mean. I honestly didn't see any images of her the way that he described it in his writings, but now it's good, aesthetically appealing. Elsa, I guess that's what you can honestly say about this.
Well, Elsa early, and a lot of the time with the one, like with Jet Draven, we had a lot to say. He hasn't done anything on the shows. In terms of actually on the shows, Elsa was a part of one of my favorite angles of the entire first month with Archer and Justin Jess, because she was kind of that tool that Archer used to fuck with Jess, and normally Jess doesn't really have that, so it was interesting to see a villain character who is unable to fuck with Justin Jess kind of use the weak point that he has, which was Elsa Holmberg. In the ring, I love her look, and her moveset's great. She's not really, she's like kind of a middling competitor and a manager, so in that sense, I hope there's more, but I doubt that there will be. But as a character, I think she definitely has had an impact, even though she's not all over every show, and she's not a main, of course.
No. And for the manager role and what the role is itself, it has been impactful in moments. The consistency just isn't there, especially with a developing women's division. You see a lot more people becoming more prominent, and she's held point, which is probably exactly what the character was made to do. We have Xander Knight, who is a flake and made an awesome video. So
it's a Marty McFly looking motherfucker.
Yeah, he was. I was gonna ask. He was the one that did the Devil's Night package, right?
I believe so. Yes.
Yeah, that was really good, and it's a bummer that he flaked, but
it is. So we got Ashley Moore again on this page, and then you have Nicholas Betamax, an old version of Nicholas Betamax. Pretty sure that's not the.
That's not the updated one. No,
that's not the B community updated version.
Nope, that's the broken one. I've downloaded that one many times, and it's not letting me use him.
Right. Nicholas Betamax was in the B community. Had a few RPs where he just kind of played an extra role alongside Bray and Bingo. Had maybe one or two matches, but always kind of failed to get the traction. Should have probably been more weebish. Should have been a lot more anime-centric. But I don't think those things ever properly conveyed over into the show, whether the focus was on FloJo or because of the other two personalities involved in the writing. It just failed to show through. But I'm actually not a fan of Nicholas Betamax currently because not enough has been done with it.
I feel like he's an extra right now in just the C community, if that's even not the C community, the B community, or either one of those, both those things. I mean, I know Code Jackman, he brainwashed him. I mean, that's pretty much the only thing that I've done. Also, reason why Code Jackman's hair is that length now is because of him. Because when I was talking to Gooch about it, he was like, he's more the heelish person that he has. So that's what works. Honestly, I wish there could have been more with the Betamax, but still, he's more worried about Flojo.
Yeah, and that's what I was going to say. He's an alt, and he gets as little exposure as an alt probably can. He doesn't do a whole lot in terms of the RP section, at least that I have noticed. And even if he does make like cameos in here and there, like Bray said, I'm sorry, don't hurt me, Adam. Like Adam said, he's kind of been an extra in the B community. So he's been an extra in the B community, and
Hi, Braylon.
he's worked a whole lot more with Gooch than I have, so it just doesn't feel like the character's getting attention, so I got nothing on him.
He just kind of exists while having a good moveset and being half decent on the sticks. It's kind of weird when you think about it. Like, Gooch is someone that, to be brutally honest, and hopefully doesn't, do a brain, tries to vanish forever. But he's very awkward as a person to speak to on quite a few levels. But there's a big element of dedication when it comes to his moveset. And a lot
Stop
of people...
moving in the background.
No, it's my chair. A lot of people would disagree.
What, do you want like an old Midwestern porch? What are you, like leaning back in the rocker?
Oh, back in my day. It's strange that he puts a lot of effort into how his cars look. And I can now hear Adam thinking, no, he fucking doesn't. Not Bray. Betamax is a shit. But the point of Betamax is to look ridiculous. That is quite literally what it's meant to be. And I think he nails the look, he nails the moveset. But as was previously highlighted, there's nothing there. He's literally just a body. He shows up, he wrestles, it's over. There's nothing else.
Right.
Aerith is the next character. I figure Jamie should probably start with this, as you can probably give us more detail as to what the intent was going into this year and how that attempt has gone.
There was no attempt going at this year. This year, she wasn't meant to be a thing, and then she was a thing. So now I'm having to kind of clump things together. Dragana helped me out a little and used her as a kind of talking head during some promos. I hopefully have something going forward with it. I'll hopefully actually do a moveset.
Aerith won the Rumble Grounds.
Yeah.
That's right.
Just hopefully not copy Asuka's moveset again this year. And kind of put something good together. Like, I've got ideas and stuff. It's just time-wise for me, it's not the whole you have 800 characters, ha ha ha, you've fucked up. It's more I've got a lot kind of going on real life-wise, which is affecting what I can put in for every character. And I did originally kind of plan on phasing Aerith out, but there's stuff that kind of fits in with what I'm doing with Trans, what I plan to do with Archer, so she is kind of going to hang around for a little bit, basically, is all I can kind of say.
Okay, well, I feel like we can skip past that then, because there's nothing to say.
Wow, you're a cunt.
Well, I just want to say before we skip by that Aerith hasn't done a whole lot this season, but last season she was one of my favorite women in the division. And that was
no, this is a new season, move on, we don't care.
Alright, I've been styling.
We can skip Brax too, right?
Oh, fuck that fuck. Yeah, we can skip him.
Who is he?
Fuck that fuck. Detailed. Okay, anyways, Rex. Did you guys like Scum Society is still a thing? I said it right? Scum Society?
It's only
Not for Jay.
it's just him and Rex and Jay.
Right, but Jay said it wasn't a thing anymore.
But Jay's a clown. Jay doesn't know anything. That's so that was made
Jay
clear.
didn't
I think
watch
the
the
day
show.
after. No. Jamie actually cleared it up in the chat. Like as Jay said that, Jay doesn't know what the hell he's talking about. He's wrong. Comes
Right.
himself.
We got very strong language up here.
So Rex is about to go back into the main event scene, which
After you buried him horribly for no reason other than to placate your own ego.
That's very true.
I agree. Go no. Elaborate. Please elaborate. Jamie, I want you to
That's all the time we have here.
He can't
thank you
shut
for
it
coming
down.
on,
I'm
everybody.
recording.
We're done.
No, you can't shut it down. I'm recording. Keep going.
No, this, like, you can go all the way back. You can take a look at what happened in that moment, but it was always like Rex cashed in. I wasn't going to I don't give away any free matches, but I also do believe, and I know this is something, a point of contention was Jamie, that if there's a purpose to be damaged going into a match, then you have every right to be damaged going into the match. Like if I wanted to choose to be damaged going into that match, it made sense from a storyline perspective that he would have that advantage.
It makes sense.
Being able to cash in on someone that just had a long match. He's, I'm starting with multiple damage colors. So, I did that, and Rex was on board with it. And I don't know if Rex ever elaborated on it, but if he went easy because he wanted to be closer, like he shouldn't have at all. Because I told him flat out, I'm not going to lay down. So I didn't. And then he lost that match. And yeah, you're right. He did kind of stumble back, but he recovered really fast. He was still in the Turmoil title scene at Lucian. And then he went right into the tag team scene where he did great work. He's redeveloped his character. It's a much more aggressive character. And I like it. I'm ready to see him back in the main event. And all of that, would that have happened if he didn't get buried, as you said? Don't know.
Are you trying to straight up claim the fucking success of Rex?
To be honest,
Holy shit.
if it wasn't for Rex losing that match against B17, I probably wouldn't be where I'm at right now. Because I'm the one that made that image.
Butterfly effect. I am the butterfly.
Oh my god.
Because I made that image, and then me and him fought. I got put in a box.
That was
Wait
hilarious.
a minute. Are each of us going to try and take credit for B17 to win, like one after another? I would not be where I am today as tag team champion without Rex fucking up at Lucian.
But I literally would never have won the tag team titles if it wasn't for that. But
But fuck you, B17.
the whole point of Scum Society was the idea was to rehabilitate Rex and strengthen his character, whilst him being in an environment where he could thrive. He could work on a new moveset, work on this new aggressive style, and let's be honest, it worked.
So we're all taking credit for Rex.
Yeah, look, you're welcome.
I had to save Rex because of you.
But he had
really?
to kill Kramer to get to where he is right
I mean,
now.
we're all happy that he killed Kramer.
Yes, we are.
Thank you.
No doubt there. We gotta keep this moving here, otherwise we could talk about Rex forever. I will say Rex is one of my favorite characters. His current development, though, like he's exactly where I wanted him to be for years now.
Same.
So Dragana Caesar is an absolute beast. I'm really looking forward to the match. I'm enjoying writing this OCW Strong Woman competition between Blaine and Dragana. I'm a little nervous about the match. I won't lie, because I've seen her absolutely decimate people, and I'm very one day I'll have a good match, I'll be into it, and the next day, you actually made reference to this, but we're not talking about me. Sorry, get off of me. All right, Caesar is the best female character outside of Bulk right now.
Agreed.
Easily. Yeah, easily. And she goes under the radar, I think, with the writing, and I've worked with her a few times on her, him, whatever, fuck your pronouns. I've worked with Drago a few times with Dragana with Terra's stuff, and of course Drago is a pleasure to work with in all capacities. But with Dragana, he seems to take a much deeper approach to how he writes and like the different emotions that are elicited. Drago is just like, yeah, me just have fun, kill you now. And where Dragana has the mouthpiece, and with Johnny like goes into different things, and the way that he writes for Dragana can be like serious, it can be funny, it can be creepy, it can, like, there's so many different levels that he can and has worked that a lot of people would consider her like in neutral, I would assume. I know you guys probably think face, right?
I think face automatically.
Yeah. I would lean that way. I would lean that way, but I put her on the lawful neutral side.
Neutral toward leaning more recently towards a kind of heel, not in a traditional haha I'm bad kind of sense, but
more like a cocky arrogance.
Yeah, more getting kind of annoyed that there isn't competition, if that makes sense. And the beauty of the Dragana character is that because she doesn't speak, there's more of an emphasis on body language and on someone else speaking for her, which then obviously can cause miscommunication, which then feeds back further into Dragana's movements and the way she kind of reacts with her form. And I feel like when I worked with her, that became very apparent in what we're doing. Like, I would write stuff and I would say, I think this is how she would react, but I need you to kind of put your spin on it. And that's probably one of the matches I'm more disappointed about. The first match with Dragana, getting so close and not winning on the basis that, you know, she is destroying people. And I felt like just so closely to the mark. And then we done a little bit after it, and then this season I've not kind of been there or interacted in any shape or form, despite the fact that as we ended the last season, the idea was that the characters were friends.
I don't perceive the cockiness as being a heel move, traditional, non-traditional, whatever you say it. It's simply just the character being very self-confident in her ability. That's all I've taken away from it. I don't see heel. I see, you know, a lawful good face.
Yeah, I go lawful neutral. I can lean toward heel, but it's an interesting perspective. I can see how somebody would see that.
Right. But the next character is brand new. There's not really much to talk about. Empress looks absolutely phenomenal, but I have not DM'd with this character. I don't know anything about the moveset or the character as a whole. I can just say that it looks very, you know, very, very appealing. The overall package.
I like it, but I'm not trying to be like a dick when I say this, but I feel like it's a copy and paste from Asuka.
Yeah, quite literally.
It's, and even with the I mean, I don't know if I'm even supposed to say this, so can I talk a little bit about Turmoil? Just a promo package?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, so the recent promo package that just came with Turmoil, that's, just the one that recently just came up. The promo that she's made, it works good, and it just, I don't like the fact that she's using like regular WWE voices. I think I heard Corey Graves' voice in that thing. Don't like that. I mean, I think the laugh sounded like it was from Awesome Kong when she was Karma coming into WWE when she laughed during that. Still, I still think it's a copy and paste from Asuka. If she can try to get away from that a little bit, that would be working good. But even when I saw some of the clips on there, the outfit's the same, the face mask thing's the same, even if that's even paint on her face, still, I would try to move your way from getting away from a WWE character.
Yeah, no, I agree with that sentiment, because we had the same issue with Hendrix and I don't watch WWE, but apparently he's a carbon copy of Velveteen Dream. That's his name. And I know Asuka a little bit, but I don't know her so much. So it's easier for me to disassociate, because I have no idea about current WWE. It's easier for me to disassociate things in OCW from WWE. Like, for example, I say it all the time. When I saw Mugen come out for the first time, like, my hairs were standing up, because I don't see Shinsuke Nakamura's thing. I see this unique character, this, Mugen doing the hand motions and everything. So it's easier for me to disassociate, but I love the look. I didn't see Asuka right away at first, but it's easy to say, like, this Asian character. I think personally, like, doing Asuka research a little bit, I don't think that Asuka is all of that, like, traditional Japanese type deal that Empress does. I think Asuka's her own thing, and Empress is playing more on the Asian dynasty thing than Asuka is, personally.
No, and she can't continue to use that entrance, because I don't watch WWE at all. And when I see the Mugen entrance, Mugen, I swear to God, I never know how to pronounce it. But when I see that entrance, it's his. Mm-hmm. And to me, it's just she doesn't know this because she wasn't here, but it will have to be changed, because otherwise you will forever. She's using Mugen's entrance, and that's just not something you want to be associated with.
Mm-hmm.
I agree.
Yep, 100%.
Code Jackman. So I think just like we did with Era's Code, what were you aiming for this year? What did you accomplish? And are things going the way you wanted them with your character?
With my character, yes. And like, I honestly, when I come and do this, I don't expect anything much from what Code Jackman puts out on the table. Of course, I want to write great content and make sure you guys enjoy it. So that's why I've been making those videos recently with the C community PSA. I've been enjoying doing that. The way that the aesthetic appealing of Code Jackman, I wanted to make sure I got rid of the back hair. I want to keep the chest hair. I know you guys think it looks like a damn rug, which it's I can see it. I wanted to just change it up a little bit, get rid of that green that I have throughout the start of the season. The way that the storyline going right now, trying to kill B17, which is right now working a little bit since I beat him at Devil's Night, and I don't know what else goes.
You beat him good at Devil's Night.
I mean, I enjoyed that finish a lot. It's just
so did we.
I don't after that the feud, if this ever ends with B17, I just don't know where to go to after that. I mean, of course something will happen, fall in line. That's how usually stuff happens. So if it wasn't for me, like what last year, just pretty much getting on your nerves, Adam, it wouldn't have gotten to this point. I mean, like getting on your nerves in Discord, which I don't know if I was or not. Still,
no, never.
But I don't know what else to say about it. I just want to make people entertaining. Like, I don't give a shit about being a champion at any point in time, because I know my skill level's not there yet. It's a hit and miss every single time I'm on when I'm DMing or even doing a television match. It's a hit and miss every single time. But I don't care. I just want to just have fun with this and put out great content.
Well, that's good. Like, you don't mind if we talk publicly about a lot of the things we talked about with your character over the last couple, because we've been talking about your character and feuding together since last year sometime. I don't know when the conversation.
6 or 7, 6 months probably.
Yeah, so what we're doing right now has been planned. It's been something that we knew we were going to find ourselves to eventually, and I've talked with you about your character a lot, and I felt like your box thing, that the program that you had with that, you had a lot of sympathy coming from that, and it would have been a good time at that moment for you to strike out as a face and to make that transition. But then you didn't, and you betrayed your tag team partner, and I was always straight with you. I told you I don't feel like you're doing something that's gonna work, because you're just switching one character, one tag team partner for another tag team partner, and you're staying heel, and there's nothing
both those guys are gone now.
Yeah, both of them are gone, and nothing's getting done within this storyline. And then you talked with me about how can you change that. So we actually pitched an idea. The original idea was you to join the B community, but you wanted to stay heel. So we had to come up with a new plan for how to make your character develop. You're still going down the same path, how to develop into more of a heel than what you were, because you were very jumpy. Like you were in the box program, Are You Face, and then you started betraying your friends and your tag teams, but you never did anything really vicious, and you just jumped around a lot. So you have a much greater focus now, and I mean, I'm really enjoying working with you as a character. As a person, you're very easy to work with as well.
Well, thank you.
Welcome.
There's not a lot. I feel like I make things drag on because I can ramble about this shit for hours. Adam can tell you based on the PMs he sent me last night. But Code Jackman, I 100% agree with everything that Adam said about it. He's much more focused now. I was never able to narrow down really what you were, and while you had various opportunities to branch out, you were always like this neutral, creepy, weird guy, and I put you as such. In my mind, but now it's very clear what you are. It's very clear what your goals are, and in any wrestling promotion, that's very important. Jamie?
You're still a creepy weird guy.
Thank you.
That's 100. That is 100.
Pretty much
real life Kramer.
Pretty much kind of.
Okay. All right. No, 100%, maybe 95%.
Okay. For me, I wanted you after beating Adam to move into the main event. But then someone said you weren't done with them.
No, I mean, you could say that. I went to you because we had the conversation about, should that have been for the title eliminator? Should that, been for the number one contendership? And I told you, well, we have other plans. We're not done with it yet. And I think that when we're done with this program, you could still do that. You could still say, hey, we can have
I would like to see you step up and try at the main event. I'm not saying like I want you to be the main event, but I want you to try and push yourself in there, because Adam was at one time part of the main event and you've just beat him. So it's kind of only really one direction for you to go in, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I can see it.
Because Jackman has beaten B17, taken his dignity. There's 2.
What?
3, taken his family. You've literally taken his community from him. There's virtually no other reason for Jackman to even bother with what's left of B17. So once you're done with them,
you're not done with me.
To move upward.
You're not done with me. We ain't done yet.
Yes, spoilers, guys. B17 not backing away. It's
you know what I mean? Like,
no, it's a fair assessment. But our story, that was a really fast story, and we had a lot more planned, and we are going through with what we had planned.
I mean, when you reveal yourself as his father, that's fine.
What's that?
That's when you reveal yourself as his father. That seems to be the going thing now.
Honestly, like, there's only one rookie / anybody that's joined recently that I would even entertain that with, and it's nobody that's in this podcast, so we can move on from that. I will never claim anybody.
None of us on this podcast are fucking rookies, you idiot.
You have Jamie, who has in the past claimed that I'm his son, but that's not something I want to do because I think it's played out.
I've never done that once.
Yeah,
ever.
Yeah, once.
No, I have not.
Or still a rookie. Or still a rookie.
Whoa. Back off. But from the handler, I want to back up for a second. From a handler that runs B17, the amount of just the level of uncomfortable you are discussing being somebody's son or having a son it's weirding me out right now.
Well, I'm in that like it's a reality of life. Real life now that makes me very uncomfortable. As a matter of fact, it's making me so uncomfortable. I'm starting to sweat profusely talking about this.
It sounds like it.
I would really like to move on from this conversation topic.
It's your pod,
Thomas Archer,
pod, man. It's your pod. Let's do it.
Right, Thomas Archer. He's a fucking asshole, and I want to move on to Jay Fury, who is also an asshole. And
Thomas Archer needs a brawl.
Huh? Fuck you.
Thomas Archer has the wig. That's about all I can say about him. And
Or
that's
does
why
he
he's
have
in
the
it.
wig?
No, he has the wig. He has the wig.
Yeah, screw you, Jamie. Fucking up a storyline that was possibly.
Hey,
Oh yeah, you're like the last person that should ever give. You should talk to Cohen about storyline advice, considering you absolutely fucked his storyline.
I asked you if I could reply, Adam. You told me yes.
Wow.
Yeah,
Now,
I don't.
now I'm uncomfortable. This is like a triple threat match I wasn't invited to.
He didn't mean reply, steal the wig, and then take away the storyline component that we had, though.
Ooh.
Now there's another story there waiting.
There is another story, but I don't want to talk about it right now. So, Jay Fury.
Why are we not going to talk about Thomas Archer? Jesus
I'll
Christ!
talk
I just
about-
had
look, I'll do
an
it. Let me
amazing
talk
good
about-
fucking jest.
Look,
He's
I'll
a
talk about
punch.
Thomas Archer. I
And
love
annoying.
Thomas Archer. I love Thomas Archer. Hey,
I love the entrance so much.
look, Thomas Archer's a great character. I think Jamie said at one point that was supposed to be like treated as his main. I mean,
Yes.
obviously Trance is where he is, but Thomas Archer is a great character, and I said the same thing with Elsa. He was a part of one of my favorite feuds in the first month. So Archer has a great character that goes many different directions, but he's as pure as a rich snobby heel can be, and I'm running the same type of program on Riot with Dillinger, but he does it so much better than me. I steal several things from him all the time, and I love Thomas Archer. He's one of my favorites.
Fine, I'll say something nice. Thomas Archer was supposed to be a Bond villain in my mind, and he was transitioning into that, and I feel like we had it all set up and ready to go, but he wasn't in a program with Jest at the time, and it was a great program, no doubt there. However, there was really nothing that happened afterwards, and I think Jamie has reasons for why nothing followed up. He talked about the story to
We
me.
can rebuild him.
We can rebuild.
We have more than the
he's got the
necessary
money.
budget.
But I don't
He's got
want to
the money.
spend too much money.
I really wish you guys could connect, like you and Jest. 'Cause I would have preferred watching that match 100% better.
And we tried so many times.
I know,
And then
I know.
The final time it managed to work. One, I couldn't see ladders as soon as they were dropped. And then, like, I had a cig and just punched me, moved away, and I randomly gained momentum and hit a finisher instead. I'm like,
Well, okay.
this doesn't make
Right, but
sense.
It
You
was
hit me.
disappointing.
Why did I get momentum?
Yeah.
Jay Fury is the next character on the list.
Fuck this guy.
This is the character who saved Rex from being buried by B17. So you either love him or you hate him.
I hate Scum Society.
Hit him. Yeah, that's the whole
Yeah,
the whole idea.
I hate Scum Society, so that means he's doing a good job.
See, I don't
For
hate
real.
society though. I'm always cheering for them. I'm like, yeah.
That's why we changed. That's why we changed our fucking entrance music because people liked it.
Yeah.
I do like how you
music's
guys are
awesome.
using the War Raiders and stuff.
You guys also showed up at the beginning of the year in an RP where you saved me. So that kind of has left a lasting impact on me. Thank you for that.
Mean to save you. It was.
Yeah, I know it was completely accidental,
Thing that
but,
happened.
but I appreciated it.
I don't like Rex, and Rex associates with Jay Fury, therefore I don't like Jay Fury.
Right.
It's a good answer.
But I do like Hayden.
Very
He's a
good.
good dude.
Look,
No
don't break
government names.
kayfabe.
No
motherfucker.
government names.
God, idiot.
Damn it.
Kate is a very hard.
You know the funny thing is, actually, there's another Valkyrie upload that has 8 downloads. So
Yeah,
that is like
Are you
4
just like searching for Valkyrie downloads?
No,
No,
he's
I'm
just going in order.
studying.
No, I'm looking at the same thing. Yeah, and it's like people, not you, Kramer. I won't throw you out here on the podcast. People like to masturbate to Valkyrie. She said it herself.
You just kind of threw him out.
That's weird.
It is. It is. So let's
It
move
kind of
on.
worries me that the Transco original one had like 14 downloads.
Oh, those
Yeah.
are all me.
A Royal Rumble versus trans versus trans versus trans versus trans.
Oh, that's like a wet dream for me.
That's hell for B17. That's like
There's gonna be a lot.
That's
Put
like
one-
0 and 29 right there.
put one B17 in the middle of that, and there will be beats of the bingo happening nonstop. I am so incredibly proud to have a move not on my character, named after me.
That's hilarious.
Because
Every
it's been
time I
hit
had it,
so many times.
every time I had it on, I would scream beats for the bingo. The best.
There's never been a trance and B17 match where, or even DM probably, where he has not hit the beats of the bingo.
The best one was when you fell face first through the table. He just like sells and falls fucking right through a table.
Off topic.
It's
Quartz
like,
is next.
oh my God.
Quartz, go ahead. What was the intention, especially moving over to Turmoil, and how has the execution gone so far?
Well, I don't want to spend too much time on me because I haven't been over there too much. But the execution has been great, in my opinion. I wanted this to be a big build-up, and I'm going to spoil something that I have kept secret this whole time.
Wait.
Yeah.
He sold his PlayStation.
No. We need to leave a pause so that we can put in the breaking news segment, because this podcast is breaking news. So everyone just be quiet for 5 seconds.
Let's do it.
Boom. Now go.
I planned on debuting on Turmoil over a 6 to 8 week span in this giant, big, long-term booking feud with Ricky Ragnarath.
That went well.
Yeah, it went great. I like reached out to him and did all these things, and like I told him I put together everything, and to hide my identity, even from Jay and everybody, I told him he would submit everything. I did voiceovers, and I masked it with several layers of audio editing, and it was supposed to be this thing that got Ricky over to the next level and put me over more as a heel. And he just never responded to me. At the end of the day, it was so disappointing.
It was big time by Ricky.
You have no idea. You have no idea how disappointed I was when days went by, and nothing happened. I wanted Ricky to go over because he was such a hard worker last year, and nothing happened. But that's the spoilers out of the way. What I planned to do, what ended up happening, I still think had a lot of impact, and I enjoyed it, was the surprise entrance against TJ Stevens. And I know that Stevens, I don't think he was fully made at the time, so I shout out to Jamie for
We're gonna book TJ Stevens. Hey, go get TJ Stevens ready.
Yeah, I did.
Yeah. I was like, hey, TJ Stevens made? I'm like, kinda. No.
I just remember it was freaking hilarious when we had like a fatal 4-way going on, and then it was during a DM. I think it was me, Rex, and Bourne, and Quartz was in there. And we just left and let's let Rex and him just duke it out. It was great.
Oh yeah.
I'm so glad you're on PS4.
Yeah, no, and,
yes,
and that's
welcome
what,
to
that's
PS4.
That's kind of the explanation that I made just to wrap it up. In terms of the character that's there now, I haven't really done much. I love competing on Turmoil, but the main thing for me coming over there was, imagine you're playing like one of your favorite games ever, and half of the entire like roster of characters is locked. Like I can't work with Jamie, I can't work with Adam, I can't work with Code, I can't work with any of these people. And then bam, you throw $200 down and all of them are unlocked. So my future with whatever characters, with whatever handlers, has been completely freed up, and I'm able to help rookies on both sides. I'm able to help anybody that I can. I'm able to work with people in RPs, and it doesn't feel meaningless because we can never fight. So that was the main point in coming over, just to free up the schedule. Right now, I'm all over the riot, so it's hard for me to talk about the character, but I feel like it's gone well so far. And the show came out, so this is not a spoiler, but I beat the shit out of Loki. So fuck you, Loki.
Would you like for me to advertise you on Reddit?
Probably not for the best.
Yeah, stay away from that, please.
Just delete your Reddit account.
I use
burn
it
it
too. I'm not gonna. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, let's not talk about it. Like we got you past it. Let's not go back into it. I'm incredibly happy that you're over here, especially because you were asking for a DMs. I want to get DMs. So now you DM with me, and it took, I don't know, only a couple DMs before you started saying I crush your soul. So I feel really good about that. Cord has said the same thing about me. So like it's a very positive feeling to be brought up by your misery. So thank you for giving me that opportunity.
Fuck you.
Leroy Daniels is next. Is it Leroy? Yeah.
Did Leroy already?
Leroy? Did he leave?
Leroy.
I feel like
he's here.
He was here recently. Yeah, he's here.
Okay,
No,
good.
still here. I had a DM with him using Loki a few weeks ago, and I don't think I've seen anything from him since then. So I have no comments to make outside of that.
All right, moving on.
The last blacksmith.
I like him.
I love him a lot.
Is
Hold on. So Kramer and I have established early that we are big fans of TLBS. I always have to put this out there. He's not a native English speaker, but I heard a big sigh, and I really want some Last Blacksmith slander on this podcast.
Well, to be honest, I feel like everything about him was a lie.
what do you? Okay, elaborate on that.
He is in fact Chinese, adopted by an Italian family, and that is why they make him wear the horse mask to remind them that, in fact, everything about his makeup, his national identity is wrong, and that he is Chinese.
Not everything is fucking Chinese, Jamie.
I can't believe
my
you. I
God.
can't believe you brought this to the podcast. I was ready for some serious character criticism.
I don't know why he wears a horse mask.
I think it's great.
He keeps
All right,
telling me it's
I-
because he's a blacksmith. I've seen
don't
many a
understand.
blacksmith, and none of them have got fucking horse heads.
There's no relation.
I think I understand it, but you go ahead. Adam.
Oh, what? Okay. There's nothing
I understand
to
it. I think I understand. I know.
there's
I think I
nothing
do.
to understand. There's no symbolism here. There's
Yes, it is. He's Italian. Mafia horse heads in the bed.
No,
You
you're
did not
reaching.
get that?
You're reaching
No, you're
so hard.
too far into that.
You are like trying as hard as you can to justify this.
He really is.
And okay. The tattoos, they look like they are literally carved into his skin.
There's a few people like that though.
That's fair, but I notice him the most with him because when he does that backflip to hit his finisher, I see his back and it looks like it's like an etch a sketch. All right, someone
how
hit the
tattoos
fucking
work.
down. I know how tattoos work, but they don't carve into. They don't. It looks
Mine
like
on my
he's
arm
like
looks like it
back
has.
It looks like he was granite, and then they chiseled a fucking tattoo into him, and then they had him lay down on it for about 5 or 6 days until it literally took into his skin. Okay,
And they told him to wear a horse head.
and then they told him to wear a fucking horse head, and then not even that, underneath the horse head is face paint anyways.
I mean, do you want him to wrestle in the horse head? Because that would be fucking terrifying.
I discombobulated.
To be
by
honest,
this
that would be
character.
awesome.
I don't understand the character. I don't hate him by all means. Like, he's a really nice guy and he's fun to play, but I do not understand the fucking character in the slightest.
Give it time.
I don't think
Give it time.
he understands it either.
No, I don't think he does either. And as somebody who has helped him out, like I've helped him with his English.
I mean, I like him.
Worked his RPs. He has a plan, guys. Stay tuned.
Yeah, no, he does.
He's got
He has
a
a plan.
Just everybody stay tuned. He's super interesting. He's a great dude.
He's one of these guys that I really want to see step up to the mid card.
I think he has a good like argument to it because I mean he beat me on this turmoil.
I fucking.
Well, I mean, he's already mid
I
card.
fucking despise his finisher.
I hate his finisher. I even told him that. I was like, I can't counter this. He's like, well, Drago's done it. Well, let's Drago.
I've reversed it like once. That doesn't
I
mean
have
it's-
never reversed it.
I mean, it's
We've had
great.
discussions about the Pele kick, and
Why don't all of you just get fucking good? It's not hard to
Oh
Adam,
my gosh!
Adam,
All right.
Adam.
Okay.
How many times you beat me?
officially,
Yeah,
or DMs. Because in DMs I have a winning record.
officially, how many times you beat me?
are we measuring dicks on the podcast?
When the cameras are on, how many times have you beat me?
Well, as Loki, I beat you once.
But how many times you beat you as your main character, B17? Yeah, you shut the fuck up. Yeah, thank you. Let's move on to the next person.
It's Alex Asher again. Man.
Why is he
Well,
here
not
again?
talking about
Because
that,
he's
yeah.
never been here once.
Is that it?
Right. Well, no,
and-
he was like the third most downloaded call, so this is him again. Alexa doesn't do anything, but she's interesting for Castianity. I wish Cast did more RPs with her, but then again, I wish he did more RPs altogether. Another Valkyrie, and then Constant Spirit.
But that's a different name. That's called Angelica.
It's Angelica. We should talk about Angelica.
Oh, really? Okay, go ahead then.
It looks like Valk.
No, talk about Angelica.
I think that someone downloaded Valkyrie and uploaded it, and we should definitely look into this for fraud.
No, that's her Lucha Kaboom attire. I don't know. If
Oh, okay, that makes sense. Wait, is that still happening?
Yeah, of
Well,
course
I'll
it
talk
is.
about.
Jess and
I mean,
are
I'd done
working
my
on it.
match like
Stay
2 months
tuned.
ago, damn it.
No. Jess and I are working on it. We got there. Or I guess.
Okay.
Yeah, we're working on it. Just stay tuned. We're fine.
Please do. Please do. I look forward to it.
Constant Fury.
Yes.
Jamie, you can have more input upon this than I certainly could.
And it's going places.
Is it though?
That's good.
We haven't
well,
seen her in the
yeah.
last like 3 shows.
Yeah, I haven't seen her in a while. I honestly forgot about her.
Moving on, Aries.
This
Austin?
has been active. Yeah.
No,
Yeah,
Jamie can
Aries.
definitely lead with this.
Go ahead, James.
I hate him.
Hate him. Fucking hate him. Fuck this legend.
I've never beat him. Son of a bitch.
Oh, you've never
Beat him?
Actually, I have. Yeah.
Oh, never mind.
It just wasn't a very good match. The one I beat him in.
Aries is a legend. He's been talking about coming back.
Aries
for a while
has
now.
been much heralded as the best on the sticks of all time.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, in his prime, he was talked about as one of the best.
He
And-
also lost the worst ever finishing move of all time.
which we
Black
saw
Smoke?
earlier in the chat.
Is that on the chat?
Oh yeah,
Because-
the cookie one.
Because PTSD.
Yeah. Well, you guys know a lot more about his history. So, like, what was his last WWE game? And I can't even speak on his character because I've only seen him this year.
He got the game last year, but never used it.
I can definitely fucking speak on this. When did I first jump to OCW? What game, Jamie, did I join OCW? 2K.
I don't remember. I remember
It was
the
2K.
I remember
It was
the
2K.
awesome gimmick match that was the Turmoil tag.
It was 2K16, and there came a span, and Jamie has not beat me in 2 years in a WWE game because we haven't played each other except for one, and that was a draw. But in the span of time, no Aries
get
has
there, buddy.
16 because he and Trans buried me over a course of 8 matches.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
Aries, it was like he had 2K16, he was teaming with Trance, and I did my finishing move to him, not once, not twice, from the top rope. He kicked out both times. He pinned me. Oh my god, I'm having PTSD thinking about this. Oh,
That time you
It's a lot
actually-
of
remember that
emotions in
time
this
you-
podcast.
Do you remember that time in one of the matches featuring Aries, you hit me with your finisher and I literally just stood up?
yeah. So in 2K16 he was active. He didn't stick around, but he buried me and then he left.
That is awesome. That is awesome.
He and Trans collaborated. There was collusion in this, and that was the last time he had it. He was gone, and then he came back for this game. And when I heard he was coming back, I got really excited, and right away I'm like, I want to play Aries. This is a dream match, 1-on-1 with Aries. I want this to happen right now, and I got it. And
You lost.
No, I beat him.
Did you?
Yeah.
I'm unactive and uninformed.
Not fucking take this from me. So I was able to beat Aries. I was incredibly happy. It was a dream match for me. I'm so happy.
Oh yeah,
that-
shit! It was his like first match in 4 years. Well done.
Move on, please. Someone take over, please.
Justin Jest
Okay,
is
so-
great. Everybody loves it.
Oh my gosh. Justin Jest. I love this character. He's a great person to work with, great person to talk to on any advice. and, like, stuff. You okay?
Are we good? Did we lose somebody?
I think Adam died.
Adam died.
passed.
Okay. So yeah, I like Jest. I like what he's going into direction-wise now, as he's going to feud with Capo. I kind of wish they would have tag teamed again, because the tag team scene right now in Turmoil is kind of thin. Still, that's okay. He just got out of the feud with Thomas Archer. I like where he's going to go, though. It may help him and Capo with the sticks better if they keep on like working with each other. Which that's a benefit for also Capo, as well, as we'll get to him later. Still, I do like the way Jest, his writing ability is perfect. He can help anybody. Like if you're a rookie right now and you want some help, like writing skill wise, go to Justin, as he phenomenal.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm
Jess is
back.
great. Yeah,
Better.
Adam just had like the worst seizure I've ever seen in a chat forum. So I'm interested to see why he was laughing.
Nope.
Mood, like,
Nope. We're not gonna do that. We need to keep moving.
I think the most beneficial part of Jest would be that you could give him a kind of skeletal structure of a role play, and within a day he'd come back with something fully fleshed out. And it got to the point when we were working together that if I wrote something, I would just kind of send him it and be like, "Are you cool with this?" And he would post it. And he would do the same for me. Well, we were essentially writing entire role plays for one another to the point where we didn't need to ask each other if it was okay, if what was being said made sense or whatever. And I think that kind of goes back to what Quartz was saying about the whole Thomas Archer character, that it always worked. Jess is someone that analyzes who he's working with and learns that character, so that when it comes to writing, it's still that it's still that character. It's not someone cosplaying as B17 or someone cosplaying as Code Jackman or Quartz or whatever.
Okay, fair enough. Capo is up next in terms of, like, he's back. He kind of got off to a rough start being back, but I think his first run, I think we can all probably agree that his first run was well done in terms of the writing and the development of who he is and what his goals were. He had to step away, and we're not going to get into that, but we are going to talk about how if he continues with what he was doing before, he's going to be absolutely fine.
Yeah, agreed. It's the only thing I could have him I don't like the most is his availability on the sticks. But I mean, he still comes in, does right stuff occasionally. I'm trying to remember. I haven't read the full entire show yet. I'm not sure if he had put anything on the last Turmoil, but yeah, he seems like a busy man.
Yeah, he is. So, he'll if he continues what he did, he'll be fine. And his work was just, I would have liked to see them actually come back together as a tag team, because I always feel like tag teams are something that are underrated, underappreciated in OCW, and I'd like to see more of.
I agree.
Completely agree with you.
Mm-hmm. And I felt the characters worked well with each other, and they still had a lot more that could have been accomplished together.
Because not gonna lie, working with Capo, Jest, Ricky, CJ, and occasionally Tay, when we had that Lucian match, that was so fun. Like, we were talking the entire time, like, through the Discord, just like saying, hey, like, we just talked about the match, and like, it was just a great way to, like, we clicked. We had our own group chat that we just messaged daily, giving out ideas. This is what we're gonna do. This is what you guys should do. This is what that should be. It's great. I wish we could go back to that type of era, but tag teams is one way to work.
Mm-hmm. In the interest of getting things to move along, I do apologize to the rookies like Steel. I'm going to skip past you. The Gladiator guy. I'm going to skip past him for now because he's
Maximus Steel or something?
Yeah, Maximus Steel, and then Alexander Thrace?
Yes.
Yeah.
So I'm going to skip over those guys. Elliot Parker, I'm going to skip over as well. We'll jump to Trance. Trance, I feel like we've talked about a lot of your fucking characters. So why don't you just continue with, get through this in terms of accomplishments, wanting to get this year and how things have gone.
I have done everything.
So please leave.
I'm trying, but you won't let me.
I'll be there soon.
You want to beat me before I can leave? No, thank you, Quartz. There's a handful of things I kind of want to do. Like, I would love to get a chance to face Leon. I'd love to get a chance to face Nate. I'd like to fight Tobin again. I'd like to have a match with Pew again. I would like to face Jay. Not for Battle for Control, because I do not want that curse, ever. It'd probably battle for not control, where we'd both try and lose. I'd like to maybe bring an end to the Trans Aries saga. I'd like to try and bring an end to B17. Not a saga, just literally end.
I was like, are you gonna?
I'm working there. I'm working on it.
How many seasons you got left in Trans? Sounds like a lot.
I'd like to. I like playing people that I've never played before, and there's thankfully and also unthankfully a large number of that. Like the character is slowly drifting back to what he was when I was probably at my creative best, when I was basically mixing fucking Stephen King and Charles Manson together to create some weird fucking cult leader thing. I've still got to say music because Jay loves it, and I've still got to say moveset. But ultimately, for me, this year is more about kind of driving people onward and upward, and just to see what I can do against people that I'm not used to facing. Because I feel a lot of this year's game is based on patterns, where you kind of in the first 3 minutes you work out how someone plays, and then you adapt and then take control. But obviously, fighting someone that you've never had to play before makes it considerably harder.
Well, neither one of you guys are as familiar with Trance, so it'd be interesting to hear your perspective on him, because I know why Trance is back, and I was a big reason why he came back. Like, I wanted to bring the character back, but you guys have never...
Okay.
Thank you. Thank you.
I'll take it.
So go ahead.
I'll take it. So for me, Jacob Trance has been a fixture in OCW since I have been in OCW. And what I have learned is that hasn't always been the case. He actually made a return around the time where I started to become a big part of the community. So he's always been in the picture to me. And from everything I've seen, even from when he eventually came back and he was a big fat guy, I initially thought, and don't yell at me for this, I initially thought Jacob Trance was supposed to be a parody character, because I didn't know. I thought he was like supposed to be a pretend tough guy with all these tattoos and all the god stuff, but in reality he was a fat enhancement talent. That's what I thought. After I learned who he was, obviously, and he like slimmed down and he became the character that he is, my impression of him right now is I've heard all of this shit about him and his character, and he's obviously a legend with Jacob Trance, and it's very disappointing to me that I don't get to see more of him every single show, and that's not, at least for the first months of this season, entirely on him, because he was matched up with a piece of shit flake who's more interested in doing his own YouTube stuff. The character I want to see more of, just so I can have the type of experience that everybody else got to have with him, but his look is great, the moveset is awesome, the fact that he does like a light heavyweight type finisher when he's 700 pounds and one of the biggest dudes in Turmoil, it pops me every time I see it, even when Rex does it. But I like the character a lot. He's definitely
gravity, man. Gravity.
That's right. He's not my favorite character, somebody who's only been here since very early last year, but I just wanted to see more because I've heard so many great things about him. I'll tell you right now, I like Aerith and Archer more than I do Jacob Trance. I'm sorry.
So my intake on Trance was like, I just knew that, like, at the beginning when I first came in here, I mean, honestly, when I first came in here, I probably didn't start watching shows until probably February. I know that's probably bad of me because I joined in October, but then again, there was an off season during that time. But then when I got introduced to Trance, I was like, oh, that's Thomas Archer's alt, because I didn't know what your name was back then.
Exactly. And that's what I did.
And so, and
that's the plan.
And then I saw like your not like growth, but like the growth from my eyes from like seeing, oh, here's this guy named Jacob Trance came back, and like, okay, I didn't do any research on you after that, because I'm like, that's too much time in my day. But then I just seen you grow from then until like now as your champion, as obviously you do not want to be champion. Like I've already heard, I've seen you type that out in Discord so many times, but But you're still here, you're still champion. There's a reason why, because one, that moveset works with Trance. Nobody knows how to. Well, I mean, you work their counter and reversals down to where they don't move when you try to do your frog splash on them. And the other last thing for it is when you do that frog splash, you have no, like, what is it called? You pretty much jump like two inches to get to that opponent, which is great. It's just perfect because you're a fat guy up there and you're jumping off, and not fat anymore. It's a slim Trance now. But yeah, that's my intake on Trance.
Sorry, Jamie.
I love you though, Jamie. You've helped me do a lot of stuff here.
Jamie's
Yes.
the best, but he has 2 characters of his 6 that are better than his main.
No, I like Trance a lot better than Archer.
Fuck that.
Well, one because I like Trance. This is probably my favorite character of yours. And Jay Fury can suck a dick.
Damn.
Your character work with Trance is no longer appealing to me. The character itself, with the history that he has, is the draw for me, and that's why I want to face him. But I agree with Quartz. Archer and Jay Fury has been much. You've been much more dedicated to them in terms of developing them because they need to develop. Whereas Trance doesn't need to. He is who he is, and therefore your other characters are much more interesting to me. But Trance is someone that I wanted to bring back, not necessarily because I wanted to beat him or anything. That's just always been a running joke between the two of us because we worked together for
3 years.
Yeah, we have.
I don't know. You've been fired and banned.
Yeah, we have never.
Fired.
Yeah, sorry about that. I had a message, but we
Fired.
Yes, I was fired. Thank you.
Wait, you were fired? I'm joking.
Didn't know that. We're not going to talk about that.
Joking.
But we've worked together nonstop for 3 years. So now there's a little bit of separation between us, but we still end up working together with certain characters. So I'm ready to be rid of Jacob Trance just as much as you are.
I don't know now. I think I kind of want to keep him around.
I want you to keep him around. I really do. I like the character.
There's nothing left for him to accomplish.
He said it himself.
Like those matches that you named off and stuff. Some of those matches don't have any purpose for any storyline purposes and could take place in the upcoming years randomly for no other reason than to throw onto a card. The only storyline match that you might have left to accomplish is maybe Ares because he's back now on a full-time basis, and then B17. Those are your only 2 story matches I see you needing to finish before it's time to retire the character, because I think you'll enjoy it a lot more because you just don't seem as enthused about Trance anymore. So time to send old Yeller out and
Whoa, don't call her down. Yeller.
Put it down. That's just my prerogative. But I need to move on here. So we have
You do need to move on. You do need to move on.
I know.
Damian Bourne.
Damian Bourne. Let's just let's put Damian and Mystico together here in the interest of time.
Perfect.
Damian Bourne, Mystico, rough start, and now they're seemingly exploding. They've got a story with Code Jackman. I've talked to Damian a lot in terms of how he should conduct himself and how he should go about things and how he should be more respectful and stuff.
That's went very well.
He has improved a lot.
Yes.
Yeah.
He has improved a lot. It's not perfect by
That
any
doesn't
means,
speak
but
volumes.
But he's a 17-year-old kid, and I think he has a lot of potential to be good here.
He's a little engine that
if he
could.
doesn't get in the way of himself.
He's literally a little engine that could.
The way they put it in Jay's word, I love the kid, but fuck you.
You stupid
Yeah, that's
mother.
motherfucker.
And since we're doing both at the same time, if I can interject, I have done a lot, or I have at least tried to do a lot to help Mystico, because he seems more receptive of the community and more receptive of OCW
The B
as an
community.
idea.
The C community.
The C community, right. But in terms of what they have going right now, it's great. I loved all of the video work they did, and even though some people said that Damien did too much on Super Turmoil, I loved every bit of it. I loved him jumping in right away after being promoted and showing the initiative. It was awesome. His RPs were well written, even though I really dislike the Damien Wood or the past tense shit they do. It really bugs me. But in terms of actually what they do, it's great. Damien's... there's nothing I could say about him now, because he has built this like internal like hatred, him and his little buddies, against me, so I can't really say anything about him that's positive or negative, because they'll come at me. I must have hurt the feelings or something. I hate that happened. I was only trying to help. But Mystico seems a lot more receptive to the OCW idea to me, and I've tried to help both of them. But Mystico, I think everybody agrees that he has more of an upward trajectory right now, although Damien Bourne's character, his look, his moveset, all of that is good. So he is similar to somebody like Jet in that way, that he has a lot of potential. He just has to stop acting like he has to stop acting his age and start being, you know,
I was not acting like that when I was 17. I know for a fact it wasn't.
No, and that's why when people do he's 17, I get it, because I was a fucking
just turned 17.
I know. When I was a piece of shit 16-year-old, I was the same way. I was an asshole, but not all 16-year-olds are pieces of shit. So like, figure it out at some point. Like, we're trying to help you. But I love what he has done post Devil's Night, and I'm fully in support of everything he, Mystico, and all of the guys they're working with, because they've reached out to Thrace, they've reached out to Benji Moore, they've reached out to guys who otherwise maybe wouldn't have been active. So it's great in that sense, and I'm only looking forward to all of the stuff that they're going to do up to Clash.
Damn.
I like both of them, of course, because I mean, it wasn't my idea to put them in the C community to help them out. But then when I thought about it, I was like, I want to help these guys out even more. At least try to at least give them like my intake of what I've done throughout my year here in OCW. I just want to help them. Like right now, both their calls look great. Bourne just needs to stay with one look for a little bit, maybe a month, then change it a little bit. I mean, I know he is prone to change his look every week or every other day. I think he changes his look more on here than he does on his Discord profile picture.
I think he changes his look more than he changes his underwear.
Yeah, that too.
Another cliche.
Going over to Mystico, I enjoy Mystico. He's a very good worker. He good on the sticks as well, and honestly, I think he could be something here. He's probably most likely better than me, honestly. Than him over.
Moving on quickly. We're on this clock. Ricky, major disappointment. Probably the major disappointment of the season.
Easily.
He got all the work last year. He had momentum in the sense that people were looking forward to seeing what he's going to do. Not necessarily on the sticks and stuff, but people were happy to see him booked and curious about where he was going. And then nothing. Like he hasn't shown up.
Is he just taking a break?
I haven't heard from him in weeks. The last comment that he made in Discord or the chat was when Super Turmoil came back after the break. He said, "Good luck to everybody booked." And to me, it came off as some kind like he was upset that he wasn't booked, and I get that. But I agree with Adam. Everybody, the key in OCW, if people love to watch you and are interested in your character, and you suck at the game or you're not great at the game, whatever, that's a really positive sign. And everybody did it last season, and then he just disappeared. So I'm bummed.
You know what the greatest, if you are over in OCW, if people mention you when you're not the person writing it. If people are mentioning you when you're not the main reason for it, if you're not the driving factor, you wrote the RP, then you've made an accomplishment, and you see it happening with Cass. Like Cass gets talked about, he actually made a comment, he's talked about almost every single page of the last Riot show. Ricky was a character that was talked about because he was involved with so many different stories last year. He went up the card and he faced for the main title. He went down the card and he faced for the lower end title. He was in the tag team division. He was everywhere. And this year maybe he's taking a break, but right now we don't know. And simply put, it's disappointing to see that because he and CJ were the two most booked people last year, and they are both absent now.
The bummer.
Let's move on here. Blaine is next.
Yep, that's all you.
More testosterone than B17.
Right. It might actually be B17. You never know.
Yeah, it's true.
What I set out to do with the character was, if you've ever seen those television shows or competitions where they're like the Reebok or Spartan athletic competitions, that's what I styled the character off of. I wanted to make someone who wasn't defined by being a female or a male, so I made her incredibly strong in my own way. Like, she's muscular, she's a very strong character. Like, I think she could probably take on most of the men in OCW just from what I see her as. And then the development of is she gay, is she bisexual, what is she, that was never something that was in my mind until people started talking about it. And I felt like people were trying to poke fun at me about it, like, hey, you made these characters whose sexual identity is in question, and that was never my intention. So I was happy that people looked at that, and then they were like, okay, so we're gonna add this dimension to the character. I didn't have to do anything. All I ever did with it is just present a character and somebody that I wanted to tell a story for, and I feel no shame about my perception on gay or bisexual people at all. So I'd like doing this positive reinforcement of these stereotypes, because to me, honestly, if I hear people talking negatively about it, I don't think highly of you then.
Well, listen, I'll say this. This is the longest that we've spoken to each other in one sitting. We PM and we talk on Discord all the time, but that is an incredibly refreshing statement to hear from you, because I didn't know you well enough to assume what your intentions were with the character. To me, Blaine is a powerhouse who is scary and who likes to fight people, and it's not defined by any type of sexuality or any of that nonsense. Like, I tune all of that out. They want to talk about it because it's an easy giggle for them, but it's really good to hear that we feel similar on that. In my opinion, that's one of the reasons I was drawn to B17. Not because he was counterculture or that any of that, just because he was interesting and that he actually had this smooth talking, like he wasn't people want to define these two as stereotypes, and they want to call them like, they're men, they're whatever. But I think what both of those characters are, if you actually read into it and stop being dumb about it, and those of you that do it know who I'm talking to. It's great writing and it's great character development, and just, I don't know. You know how it is. I can't. There's not a lot of good ways I can sit the fence and talk about this.
No, and that's exactly what I wanted to go for, and the whole line of gender brutal. Like, I've never thought that people would respond so positively to it, but it's absolutely true. Like, I wanted to present a character that wasn't defined by gender or masculinity. Just because she has muscle doesn't mean she's not a woman. She is based upon very real, very athletic, incredible people that dedicate their lives to, being these physical specimens. So that's what her entire foundation was built off of, not the concept of a butch lesbian who beats people up. That was never it. So, moving on, because I'm sure you'll have something to say about Keith Hendricks, and I have got to go to the bathroom. So have at it.
I'll take over. So Keith, I don't know if you're ever going to listen to this, but I appreciate you as a guy. I appreciate you as a guy who is an adult person who was able to sit down with the leader of OCW and Pew, who is a legend of OCW, and have an adult conversation with them where you can go outside the confines of being insulted about your mental health and being insulted about being soft and any of that. Those criticisms are bullshit, and they're children who you're dealing with there in that sense. But what I want to understand about you, and you cannot say that I haven't tried to reach out to you, because I'm still here, even right now, if you're listening to this, I am still here right now to try and help you with whatever you need, any type of advice, any type of F.P.R stuff, anything. Me, other people, we're all here. You have to understand from the perspective, you talk about perspective a lot on that podcast. Our perspective right now is that you are a nothing, new person, rookie, who the only reason you have ever come into Discord, the only reason you've ever been to the OCWFed.com is to promote your own content. That is not what we are here to do. That is not what the OCW community is here to do. We're here to build something that everybody within the community can enjoy. And I'm not saying that that's your intention, because we talked about it earlier with Adam. You see it a lot differently. And I know that you do things on your own terms with your own people that you perceive as helpful to OCW, but you have to understand when you walk into the chat and tell people you want the promotion channels to put your own channel up there, how that's going to come off. What we all want from you right now is to establish Keith Hendricks. We want to know more about Keith Hendricks. I don't know you as a person. If you just promoted Keith Hendricks, that would be fine, because I'm interested in his character, and I'm interested in you establishing him to get him away from any stereotypes that he's been assigned to so far. All of us are just trying to help you at the moment, and you being contentious and defensive about everything that you have done so far in OCW is not the correct way to build yourself, and it's not the way people expect rookies to act. So I don't know anything about Keith Hendricks. This is supposed to be about characters, and you haven't done shit in OCW, for lack of a better word. So please come back in and do the very best you can. And as I have been for the last 3 weeks that we've been in connection, or the last couple weeks, whatever, I am in PMs to help you with whatever you need, and please reach out with whatever you got. I don't know if any of you guys have anything, but that's pretty much what was on my mind about Hendricks and his crew.
I smell a second podcast brewing between Jay, you, and probably Keith Hendricks.
No, that's not because that didn't do anything. We know that didn't do anything.
No, exactly.
Content. We need activity. We need uniformity, and we've already spent too much time on you as it is for what this podcast is supposed to be. So Austin Lee is next.
All right. Great music. That's all I got to say. Austin, he's a good dude. He's a good dude to pretty much get around and help you. He's one of those characters that, well, he's not as that type of person that you would think, oh, his character is huge and stuff, he might be a dick in real life. He's really not. He can come off as a dick, but still get rid of that bullshit, and he's actually a fine man. But still, I like this Austin Lee gimmick. I don't know, it just works. What I love about it so much is his entrance music. I kept on messaging him, like saying, what's your music, because it's perfect.
Oh, yeah. You guys have a lot more take on Austin Lee, I'm sure, because he's been here longer than we have.
Fuck his boots.
Austin,
I spent most of that match laughing and talking in Discord about his stupid fucking boots, and then I ate them.
All right,
we're on Austin Lee. Please provide some insightful commentary, because we're lost. Austin
With
Lee.
who?
Austin Lee.
Austin Lee is a future Hall of Famer. He is B17's best friend in all of OCW. He's betrayed B17 multiple times, and I still love him to death. I think the look is solid. I think it's probably the best looking car. Not his current trunks right now, but like last year especially, best looking car in OCW. He even got people requesting if they could take him and put him on to their sim federations and stuff. his moveset I've always been a tremendous fan of, because I myself have had to design it and give it to him because he has no idea how to map a moveset or make a moveset.
So basically what Adam is saying, I like Austin Lee's moveset because I made it.
Yes.
We're just taking credit for everybody's success here on ThirstCast.
And I also do his stats for him. So, like,
I write his RPs for him.
And I edit the RPs.
So what we can say is that B17 and I are Austin Lee.
Yes, we are.
It makes sense. It makes sense now.
Did you lose to me on Riot?
But we did not make the look.
Oh, okay.
The look is his.
Yeah.
The look is
his
all
likeness. I didn't realize how big he was until I DM'd him once, or like
he's
a few
like
times.
tall.
Well,
He's
anybody that
freaking
saw him
huge.
against me on Riot will know how big he is. He's a giant fucking dude. He made me look like a fat baby.
Right, so you guys talked about him. I want to keep
go
moving
ahead.
here.
All right.
Flojo.
Bell, no, rookie, skipping over. I'm going to skip Ace as well. So let's see here. We have Bray. All right, no, let's keep it. Flojo first. Flojo first. Got a match completely undeservingly against Drake Ghana. And I know there's this, it's you're if you're good at one, you can be a success in OCW if you're a great writer. Thank you. If you're good at one thing, you can be successful in OCW. This is nothing new. This is exactly what Pew said. If you're good at the matches, you can be good in OCW. If you're good at the RPing, you can be good in OCW. You need to, in order to be at the top of OCW, you need to have both. And Flojo misses the mark in both categories.
I knew it was coming.
It's not a burial. It's just a gooch nose.
It's not that I want to be a fan because the look is good and what the character represents is something that I really enjoy as well. But the RPs are, in my mind, disjointed and lack focus as to what the character itself wants to accomplish. And then in the ring, there is F.P.R. breaks that pop up here, there, randomly, and mechanically just not sound. So when I found out that she was facing Dragana, okay, yeah, fine, I get it. She's going to get the opportunity because we give opportunities here, but there were other people that were more deserving, Velk in particular. And Velker doesn't need the belt, though. I understand that. But we should not look at that and say one person doesn't need the belt, so they shouldn't fight for the belt. No, the best person available should fight for the belts available. And so, I mean, that's a reality, and I think Flojo has a lot of things left to accomplish before that should happen again.
And I feel like some people take it out of context. Well, I want to come into OCW and win the title. Of course, that's what everybody wants to do. But when you think about it, that's a lot of work. Some people benefit not because, honestly, for my sake, I'm completely fine without a belt. I don't want one. I mean, if I get an opportunity, that's good. But for these rookies coming in, they should not think about, I'm going to come in and try to win as many titles as I can.
No, you shouldn't. If feuds are the most important thing in OCW, if you have a good feud and people like your feud, you will be talked about. And if you're talked about, then you're going to get your opportunities. But you're only going to get talked about is if you're a solid writer and the ability to tell a story, and or you're good in the ring and able to tell a solid story there.
I like Flojo as a character, so I don't want this to come off as anything negative. It's going to, but what you said, I hate that this is your podcast and you went first because it's going to sound like I'm just agreeing with you, but what you said about Flojo's RPs feeling out of place and disjointed is as good an explanation as I could have ever given. Flojo, the character, when I first saw her, was up there with Mugen, was up there with Cassidy Hayes, was up there with Pew, with the level of intrigue that instantly popped into my head. The more that I saw, the worse it got. Because not only, you can be a jobber in the ring. Like you said, you have to be good at one or the other. Flojo has one of the most Gooch and Flojo have a great work ethic, and they try. And the reason that I think that Flojo deserved the title shot is because of that effort, especially coming off of season 13's finale. But the RPs have to find some kind of focus. I feel like when Gooch writes his RPs, he's writing it as Gooch. Like, I don't feel like he has any type of focus or character that he's going for. And Flojo comes out dancing. She's like super energetic, and she's like jumping over the ropes, and she seems like this like super fun face, like hyper energetic girl. And then I read an RP, and she's like flipping the bird and trying to seduce Dragana and saying "fuck you, Code Jackman." It just doesn't fit. It doesn't fit to me. And the effort is the highest level of what Gooch has to offer right now. He just needs to find something, either in ring prowess or some type of focus on writing, in order to go to the next level.
Jamie?
It was weird. Like, Flojo was a bit of a write-off in the ring most of the season. We had our match, like it was our debut actually, and it was one of the OCW lives where she had like this fucking super competitive match against me, and then didn't do anything, and then she started the whole flow. That was the end of the Flojo challenge. Sorry. And then we're like, why don't you bring the Flojo challenge back? And Gooch thought we were trying to get him to do it again because we wanted to see him lose. When in actuality, the whole purpose of it, was to carry on with the whole idea that Flojo was looking for this big win. And I had a go at him on Discord about it, and he seems to have taken that to heart, because I know he's planning on feuding with someone right now. So I'm not going to give an evaluation other than that I'm open to see what 2019 holds.
Okay.
Because right now he's trying to do like a suspension look right now, to where he's not seen on anything.
And you know what this is indicative of how much people pay attention to Flojo. We used to get talked about a lot for varying reasons, for very different reasons. But this suspension angle was announced, and then almost directly after that, there was a card put out with Flojo on the card. So the RP was I'm not saying that people were uninformed. I'm saying that the RP did not resonate with people. People did not see a reason for this, and it was either ignored or it was looked at and people were like, okay, how long is the suspension going to last? There was no impact to it itself. So that's right. That's my perspective. Moving on, we had to hit on Bray. And let's see here. I'll start with Bray. Bray is one of those characters that is jumped around a lot in terms of what he wants to be, in terms of what people think he should be, and then he tries to mix these two things together, and the results can be questionable. He was kind of written off for a little bit as people saying, oh, he's just a Velveteen Dream ripoff, and then people started saying, now you're just a B17 ripoff, you're trying to do this, and now he has this look that I don't think many people are fond of or big on, and it leaves a lot of questions to be asked about, okay, what is the purpose of what you're trying to do? And I think Bray's just in that place where he's not even really sure. And I just want to tell him, all right, here's your direction, go. But that's not necessarily my place to tell anybody what to do or how to do it. So I'm left here just saying, giving suggestions, say, hey, try this, and it's up to him to kind of do that. Mechanically speaking, he is a very solid player, and he gets easily frustrated. That's the best way to put it.
Bray's character, to me, the way that I see it, because I don't know anything before I got here, is he was a rage quitter last season, or he just didn't have any impact on me personally for somebody who only watched a few turmoils. This season though, and I'm paying attention to every single show and watching every single show, the Rumble Grounds belt angle didn't hit at all, and he knows because he ditched it immediately, which is a good call. The way that I see him, I can kind of relate to the way I see Betamax and Ace, which is they are bodies, and he is the king of the bodies. And he showed that in the match against Bornistico when he like single-handedly like started whooping ass and started showing that he really had what it takes on the sticks, and it was really fun. And I like his moveset and the way he performs in the ring. But in RPs, it's kind of like what you said about Flojo's suspension angle. It just doesn't have any impact. He just comes off as if Ace and Betamax and the rest of the B community NPCs are thugs in like a generic action movie, he's the head of the thugs. He's not B17 boss, but he's like the head of the thugs. He doesn't have a direction, and he hasn't.
He's the secretary.
Yeah, he hasn't really established what he wants to do yet, and without goals, it's very tough.
He's the generic bad guy that just happens to have a couple of lines.
Yeah, I don't have too much on B17, or I'm sorry, Bray, but go ahead. I did that on purpose. Go ahead.
So with Bray, I know he's a huge avid anime guy, and I know right now people are thinking, anime is getting too much for OCW. People shouldn't be doing anime, but that's the thing that he loves, and there's nothing that should be nobody saying that, don't do something that you love, and of course you're going to do something like that. And he enjoys anime, and I know some of his anime choices that he does provide out there as his entrance attire, we do not know. And it'd be nice to like have him like say, hey, I'm dressing up as this person tonight. Like if he's doing an RP with, say it's Flojo, or say if it's Betamax who is also an avid anime person, say, hey, I'm dressing up like this, like an RP before the match, so we at least know what's he gonna be. So even if we want to look it up, like, okay, this is who he's supposed to be. Okay, perfect. All right, bingo. And so it's like that's something that we didn't get when I remember doing Devil's Night. Cause I can't remember what he even dressed up as, but still, if he enjoys doing this cosplay stuff, just do it. I know you're probably gonna get some flack about it from like older people or even other newer people saying, you shouldn't be doing anime, some cosplay and stuff. But look at how Bornistico came out in the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle stuff. They had a huge pop for that, and it's like, I thought we didn't like this cosplaying thing.
But if he can make that his thing, then, because everybody else does it as a mix-up, but if he can make that his thing, he can be the cosplay guy, and that would at least establish him as...
And that gives him a direction to go to, and also work forward to, which I think that's what he should totally do.
Well, Adam, I think that's all the characters we have. You got anybody else? We're not talking about Logan, so don't even think about it.
But Benjamin Moore.
Benji Moore is somebody that is very much in the same position as Jet, and hopefully we'll see something from him in the future to make a better, some detailed analysis of. Huh?
He's an ex-porn star.
Yeah, but why do I care?
That's true. We need some more work with that.
It takes time, is the thing. If anybody on here is getting like pissy or offended of the things that we're saying or not saying, it takes time. Like, you have to build things, and you can only go off what the audience is seeing. And like I'm not saying we're representation for the entire audience, but we're pretty informed, I would think. That's why Adam invited us on here. So just continue to plug away, and eventually you'll get there.
If they think that we're just being critical and stuff, have them, like, if you're listening right now, find our first match or something and look at how we look and look at us now, like how we evolved and stuff. That's like something that you should probably, if you're a rookie and stuff, and if you're older people, you should understand that we all have opinions.
Yeah. So that's it. That's really like it's been 2 hours, and we've gone through every character in terms of Turmoil, and taken a detailed look at to what we think about them, what we believe about them, and by all means, our opinions are our own and don't necessarily represent how everybody else feels. And maybe we got a few things wrong here and there in terms of what you're trying to present, but there's also a lot of good characters and there's a lot of good things. Even some of the things just come down to being a bit nitpicky. So Thank you guys for joining me in this, and we can certainly skip over Loki and B17. I won't be offended in the slightest about that.
They're trash.
They're trash. They exist only to create misery, apparently. So
I love Bingo. I hate him in the ring, but I love Bingo. I gotta get that out there.
I hate him. I want to kill him.
I hate him.
It's garbage.
Yeah, there we go. My characters are despised. And they're all faces, except for Blaine. She's a heel. Fair enough. So
who is somehow the most over?
Right, who knows?
She's got the biggest dick.
There it is.
See, that's what I'm talking about.
We were talking about this earlier.
Just ignore him and move on in life. Nothing else you can do. So we can wrap this up then.
Thanks, guys.
Yep.
Thank you for listening to us rabble a load of shit.
So after I had cut the recording off, we began talking about B17, Adam's character, because we did not get to him on the podcast. So I told him I wasn't recording, but I was still recording, and I felt like his comments, as well as the conversation in general, was impactful and important, and I thought it was entertaining as hell. So hopefully you guys do as well. I'm gonna put that back end part on here. Enjoy.
The Mugen layer of him trying to however you explain it. It's hard to explain for me what Mugen does, but still, I do like what B17, everything that you'd have with him. I hate your damn freaking your entire moveset with him. I hate completely because I still do not understand it by how many times we've actually DM'd and stuff, which is ridiculous. But with the B17, I do enjoy what you're doing with him. I just feel like, I don't know. I know you've told me last night what you were trying to do with him, like more of a modern look, get rid of that flamboyantness stuff with him. I completely agree with what you're trying to do right there. But I just don't like that shirt you're wearing with that vest type thing going on. But still,
really, okay.
I don't. I really don't. It's just being a little nitpicky on myself, because from seeing what you've wore in the past, it's just not you, to me at least.
Okay.
Because like honestly, during your cancer gimmick, I mean, I don't know what you did during that part, or even when I've only seen you as the B community leader, the flamboyant guy, but going into more modern stuff, I do like it.
Okay, yeah, and I'm on the other side of that. Everything that you have with B17 now, and this isn't just from when I have been here, the stuff that I've looked up in the past, Bingo wasn't talked about, discussed at, or really referenced to nearly as much as he is now. B17, as we know him today, is this enigmatic figure who should be in the main event picture, who should be a lot bigger than he is, but you, being the worker that you are, you don't need to be in the title picture to be super into the main scene and like a Valkyrie-esque, I guess is the best way to put it, over. I think the loss of the wig can be something that is a complete transition into a new type of character altogether. There was older B17 who was completely flamboyant and was a complete separation from the Bingo Bomber. Once you lose the wig, and I talked about this to you last night, you can turn this version of Bingo into a more, it's hard to say more serious because of the character, because the RP that you wrote for Turmoil struck a balance between the serious level and still being B17, but you can turn the idea of the B community and what you represent of freedom and being happy and all of that, you can turn that into a moral good in a way that if you just think about the past and go after your wig, it can go back to just being silly for just the sake of being silly. So I personally love the look that you have. It has all of the combinations of being a perfect wrestler, being just super simple, while at the same time, if you look at your trunks, if you download the B17 call and you go look at the textures and everything, all the things that he has on his trunks, and look at every little intricate detail, it's awesome. The whole thing is perfect. You don't have to pick a generic generic piece of tights, but your attire might be one of the best in the entire Fed, in the entire community. I don't think, like I said about Valkyrie earlier, I don't think it's time for you to transition anywhere, which is why I was so disappointed when I saw the Bingo Bomber for the hardcore match. Luckily, we now know that was like a temporary thing, but I'm on the opposite side of Kramer. I think you should use the loss of the wig as a transitional point to turn from like, oh, I'm silly B17 to like, I'm at peace, you know, I want everybody to love each other and I want everybody to feel free, but I'm also an ass kicker in the ring because you have that ability on the skills, or on the sticks. So you can have that kind of Drago-esque thing going where you talk about love and all the freedom and stuff in the back like you did on Turmoil 218, and then at the same time, you can go into the ring and dominate people the same way that you dominate me in DMs and crush my spirit because you're a piece of shit. Wow. So I love the way that the character's going right now, and I already told you last night when you asked me about it that what is happening right now is the best possible scenario in my personal opinion. I'm only one guy, so I can't speak for everybody.
So let me just like I'll make this quick. Let me state, you know, like the same thing you guys did with all your characters, in terms of perspective of who he is, what he's trying to do, what he's trying to accomplish, and if I felt that that's actually been accomplished. I think it needs to start with the cancer gimmick because that is the.
So your main thing.
The cancer gimmick was a result of not being liked in OCW. Like I came into OCW
That's right.
hot. People loved the character and they put him over a lot. And then things kind of started to fade for me, very much like Flojo. And then I became very, I don't know the proper word, disenfranchised with OCW. I became cynical and critic of it, and I didn't like it as much. And then I got called cancer. And I took this gimmick, I made it into something that people looked at and said, oh, wow, that's unique. You know, good for you. You turned a negative into something you can use. But the thing is about that gimmick, I had to think just miserably. Like I had to write negative. I had to act negative. I had to have a moveset that was completely dickish. And to like do promo videos and stuff, I'd have to pull like pictures of cancer victims and stuff, and it was depressing, just absolutely depressing. I think it's by far my favorite gimmick I've ever done, but it has to be done in the right way, and I did not do it in the right way, and it made me miserable, absolutely miserable to be that character. So when I came back, I said I can't be that character. I have to be the complete opposite. So I went goofy. Completely and utterly goofy, just as stupid as you can think of. I was homeless and doing just random stupid stuff, and then I transitioned into this because people started doing the same thing they did with Blaine. Is he gay? Is he gay? Is he sexually? What's his prerogative on that? And I'm like, well, fuck you. That's not even fair. So I went even further with it. I used Dalton Castle as my inspiration. I'm not doing anything sexually, but you see it as sexual. Okay, let's do this. And it just went down this path. And when I lost the wig, I was like, okay, what? Like, I wanted to transition to something more serious, but I didn't want to lose the core concept of what I had become. So what I am right now, I plan to stick with for quite some time, but I need to transition more into like former gimmicks of more serious undertones and stuff, which is exactly what Quartz said. I don't want the wig back. I thought I did, but I don't. I like my look. I like where my character's going. I like what's being developed. That's where I stand with it, and it works for me. Like I'm not nearly as serious about winning matches anymore. Like it doesn't bother me to lose, and that's good. And that's the kind of character I want to have. So I think what I've done and what I'm becoming is a good balance of the old B17 with the newfound enjoyment. That was my hope and goal, and I feel like I've accomplished it. The only thing I do kind of dislike is like I wish I was in the main title scene, but I also know that I can't be because I'm in a feud with you, and that takes precedence, and it's more enjoyable to do the feud with you and Aries and Trance and Rex and Lee, they all have something to finish up there. And when they're done up there, I have every intention of going back up there.
That's what you should do.
Yeah, and what you just
because at times
I'm so mad. I hate interrupting. I'm sorry. What you just said, I wish I was fucking recording, because that is so important to people that want to be where you are in OCW. Like what you just said, like I want to be in the main event, or I want to be more important than I am. But what I'm doing now and what it means to OCW is far more important. Like that I wish I got on tape, but of course you told me to stop recording.
Well, that's okay. And Spider actually said something very similar in chat a few days ago. He was talking about who the main event people are who are carrying the shows, and he said, you know, some of the people that should be in the main event, they're not in the main event, but they're still carrying the shows. And he referenced a few people on Riot, and then he referenced B17, and he's absolutely right. I put in content that I think people enjoy seeing. I've never stopped doing this content because people respond well to it in the polls and stuff, and that's more important to me than the title, because the title it'll work itself out to me, because I've held it. I got really competitive last year, and I got really good at the game and really competitive at the game. And I went on a run. I got the title, and I felt so happy, vindicated. And it's just like, I accomplished it. Good. Let's go do a really cool feud now. And that's exactly what I'm doing. And that's all I wanted to accomplish.
All right, because like at times I feel like that I'm not like holding you back from getting to that main event picture, getting that title shot that you deserve, because obviously you do deserve that title shot, coming back. Because I mean, you've had that. How long did you have a break? Because you got married, so it was probably like.
I was gone for roughly 3 months because I went home for the summer. I got married, and then I went directly to Ireland, and then I came home, and then I had to drive back. So I was gone for roughly, if you put it all together, 3 months since by the time I left to when I was officially back.
Because I know, like, trying to think that because you wanted to come back at Rumble Grounds, and I mean you did against fighting Archer. But at times I do feel like that I'm holding you back. But I'm glad you said that you want to do a feud, and like a good one, because I mean you're helping me out a lot right now. Because honestly, if I wasn't in a feud with you right now, I'd probably be in the same level with as probably Born and Mystico, to be honest. Like in that area where like, oh, nobody wants to do anything with him because I don't know, probably just because he's weird.
No, and that's mostly completely irrelevant to me. It's like having the feud with you, like I lost you, and if I can be very honest, I completely overlooked you, and I did not go into the match the way I should have, and I never thought I'd lose. When I lost to you, it's like, this is the best fucking thing that could have happened to me. And don't get me wrong, I was like, well, motherfucker, god damn it, that cocksucker, he beat me. Yeah. Don't get me wrong, I was pissed, but losing to you put me in a position to where this feud it can feel personal because I gotta get my win back. It can feel personal because you took stuff from me. Jamie's right. Jamie sees it as like, oh, you've taken everything from me, you should move on. To me, it's like I have unfinished business with you, and we can combine the story with another story, and we can do some really cool stuff. And then when all said and done, when this is done and we finally have that match, I think that should be the title eliminator. And I've told Jamie that, and Jamie agreed with it. I don't know if he'll remember it, but when this feud finishes up, there's going to be a match between you and me, one-on-one. That should be to choose who goes to the title, who should get a shot at Lucian. And if someone presents me with a good option, I will have them interfere and cost me that match, and I'd be happy to say, it's your turn to try. I don't care. So that's where it's at.
Wow, thank you.
Wow. Well, I mean, I would love to fight Drago at Lucian, but I can't. He's going to be fighting somebody else. So the other option is Trance. I want Trance badly. If he has the title, I want to beat you so I can go face him. If he doesn't have the title, I I want him to cost me the match so that I can fight him at Lucian. I don't care about the title in the slightest. I want this feud, and then I want the trans feud. Then after all that, we can look into the title. And by then, I'm going to probably be ready to adjust my character. And then that'll give me something to move forwards to.
And I'm hoping by Lucian or a little bit after Lucian, I turn face, to be completely honest.
Well,
we've been talking about that for a while. Because I was supposed to, if I would have lost so Jake, the main thing for us was if I would have lost at Devil's Night, I would have joined the B community, of course, and then I'd been like in anger management classes to like try to get me to turn face.
Face classes, they were called face
classes. Yeah. So I honestly think that probably would have been.
That's brilliant. That is so good.
So like, and then it was completely out of the blue that I actually beat you at Devil's Night.
You know what?
Trust me, it was for us in the booth too.
Yeah, it was so hard not to say anything.
But it was good, though. The fact that you beat me is good. And guess what? And
there was a little bit more, but the important bits got in there nonetheless. In the respect of my friends Kramer and Adam, I'm going to leave the rest out for now. But I would like to thank everybody for tuning in to ThirstCast 1.0. Shout outs to Adam. If you would like to thank him for the podcast, it was all his idea. And I appreciate everybody getting through it. I hope it was a fun listen. And enjoy your evening.